Oh, say, can you see?
You are watching the Big Dog Postgame Show, brought to you by Viener Foregates and the Big Dog himself, Rick Jacklich, at the Jacklich Law Group.
Good afternoon from College Park. It's a football weekend, but we're here at a basketball game. The Terrapins 69, Nebraska 66. This is the Big Dog Postgame Show. I'm Wayne. We've got Mason. We've got James Gist, who is still celebrating from last night as his commanders, or our commanders, take down the Detroit Lions. Look, Maryland was in a dogfight today. Mason, what'd you see out there that got the Terps to get it done?
Yeah, it seemed like they finally just clicked into place and really started to push the pace. There were pockets in this game where Maryland played well, but overall, it was a really sleepy total team effort, and it really was encompassed by one play, which has to be that 1-and-1 near the end of the game, where, I mean, James, you were watching, it looked like Derek Queen and the Nebraska player were the only two people that realized that wasn't a two-shot free throw.
Yeah, that was a very clutch moment in the game where, you know, it could have cost us big time at the end. It seemed like everybody had fell asleep, but this kind of game was like a typical Big Ten fashion game. Really slow, methodical, half court, you know, really physical. A lot of fouls were given out, and it was a hard-fought game. And at the end of the day, you know, the result is what matters.
It does. Look, Jacoby Gillespie is the saving grace of the Maryland Terrapins right now. He played the entire second half. He ends up with 22 points. He has 5 rebounds. He has 4 steals. He does it all. But in order to get that done, he seemed to be the only guy that we couldn't do without. James, what happened on those traps that really killed the Maryland offense?
You know, Nebraska did a really good job. They're a very well-coached team. You can tell by the way they played defense, and they stuck to their principles. As soon as we threw the ball into the post, they brought a trap over very strong, and it kind of messed up our offensive flow. You know, we found some open shots on the outside, and they started to drop. Miguel took some big shots. He made some big shots. Gillespie, of course, was knocking down some shots, and Rice also as well made some big shots in that case. But you like to see a little bit more shots in the paint. I know they're trapping the ball from the post, but if you can get some backdoor cuts from the guy that's trapping, I mean, you get about 4 or 5 layups. That kind of cancels out the trap defense, I believe.
I think that when you play defense like this, or when you turn this tape on, a guy with the passing ability of Derek Queen has got to be one of the focal points of a high screen and roll game, or something that just breaks up the pace. But I think one of the things that's showing through for Maryland they have to find is the consistency and discipline to run the offense throughout the game. Not when you get hot to start throwing up threes when you get down the court, or really getting lost in offense. There's not really a great set yet, and definitely when the first set does not work, that 15-second and down set, it's non-existent.
I agree with you, Mason. You're 100% right. And part of that, you know, I was paying attention to was the assist. Maryland actually didn't do such a bad job in the assist column tonight. I think they had about 15 assists. And I was paying attention to that throughout the game, because with the trap, that ball has to move. And in order for us to find good shots, open shots, rhythm shots, you know, that ball has to move out of those positions. And like you said, Queen is a very good playmaker. So we have to be able to put things in position, people in position for him to be able to make those plays.
As we head to break here, Rice has 15, Selton Miguel 13, and we're going to take you to break with this fantastic Gapare dunk. He only had 4 points, but he probably had the highlight basket of the day. I believe Jay Young finds him down the middle for the alley-oop slam. We will be back in College Park in a moment.
If your family's injured in a car crash, you'd be barking mad not to call Rick and the Big Dogs at the Jacklich Law Group at 855-BIG-DOG-1.
But as you know, Coach, it's not the last win, it's the next win that's so important. And that's why we continue to hustle, continue to work so hard for all of our clients to earn that name, the Big Dogs from the small firm. Just like you do. You get your guys hustling all the time.
That's why we love you, Rick.
And most of all,
Go Terps!
All tied up here. 18 on the shot clock, 66 all, and 51 in the game. 1 second. That's it for today. EQ up high, hands off to Gillespie. He drives. Roger. Back in College Park as we all looking forward to head home to watch some football today. Look, Nebraska's bigs really were getting the job done for about 3/4 of the game. That sort of ended with about 10 minutes to go, and Maryland's bigs started to reassert themselves. James, what'd you see out there?
With the way that Nebraska was playing, they had a lot of pick and roll action, and they have bigs that are very mobile, can put the ball on the ground and actually stretch the floor and shoot. And that's something that kind of gives Maryland a little bit of a problem on our end with having Reese and Queen far away from the basket. What I did like to see that Maryland adjusted was that even though our bigs weren't as productive in the paint, let's say, because the guards were shooting the ball very well, they held down the paint very well when it came to rebounding and defending. Geronimo came in and gave some very positive minutes, big blocks. Reese came down, 10 rebounds, I believe. Gapare also came in and gave some positive minutes, and Queen, even though he wasn't effective, offensively, he had 5 or 6. No, he had like 7 rebounds. He had like 2 or 3 assists. So that was an impact where if the bigs can't help produce offensively, they can still hold the paint down, rebound, defend, and that's what they did.
Yep. Mason, this gets a little tougher now. 3 of the next 4 on the road, at Illinois, at Indiana. Wisconsin comes in, and I can't remember the third game, but 3 of the next 4 on the road. Why do you think this team is so much better at home?
I think this game is a great example of that. When things start to go against us, it doesn't seem like we quite equal that effort until there's real urgency towards it, the end of the half, the end of a game. Something is off with the consistency of this team just being locked in and ready to go for the entirety of a basketball game. When you go on the road, the second you leave that door open, the fans get involved. Everything starts going against you, and you have to have that mental ability just to push through it or have it fuel you. And I think we might be missing that guy, but Jordan Geronimo strikes me as the way that effort that he gave today. I would look for him to get involved early at Illinois, just that guy that's just relentless. He doesn't have to put up the biggest numbers, but just relentless in his effort to make a play and to power up his teammates. Early in the game, you have to have a strong start.
That 4th game is at Ohio State, and boy, I believe they're going to say they owe us one after what we did to them here. James, you have been through this, playing some of the toughest places on the planet. How do you keep your composure on the road, and what's the difference between the road and the home games?
Honestly, Wayne, I believe that playing on the road is a little bit easier to focus and lock in. You don't have so much of the distractions like you do when you're at home with the home crowd, fans, people asking for tickets. Just that pressure of being at home and being comfortable, But when you're on the road, it's like a business trip. You go through a certain routine, you have your team lunch, you have your shoot around, you have your video sessions, and then you show up to the game focused, just the team. And so I think that playing on the road, you have a little bit more focus, and I think that we'll look to see them have a good outcome on this road trip that they have coming up.
All right, that's going to wrap us up for today. Guys, anything else?
No, that's it.
Big win yesterday from the Redskins, Commanders, however you want to say. I'm just very excited right now. You see me showing my love for them. Good win for the Maryland Terrapins today, so I think we went through a good weekend, you can say.
You are even more unmistakable running around with that hat on. That's James Gist. Mason, I'm Wayne. Bruce is away from the microphone this afternoon, as is Rick Jacklich. We will see you in 2 weeks on a Wednesday night when Wisconsin rolls into College Park. Good afternoon, Maryland 69, the Cornhuskers 66.